Jason Walker here, Walker Tea Review. We're going to be looking at something different today. We all know that tea, loose leaf tea rather, is higher quality and is a healthy choice. But if we cannot take that lifestyle change into our daily lives, it doesn't really give us much advantage, does it? So we want to look at, and I'm going to ask you as well, how do you prepare your teas at work and at school? Well, we're going to be looking at a quick and easy way that you can prepare your teas, considering that you have basic equipment in front of you. I have my regular teaspoon here. I've got a green tea, and I'm putting in a little bit over a teaspoon into each of these infuser cups, because we're going to be looking at infuser cups today, the advantages of them. We're also assuming that you may be at work and you have access to hot water in some way, whether it's a coffee machine or it's using the microwave to heat up your water. So we're going to bring these two cups to full about the same time. We're going to compare what happens as we do this. I'm going to let these two steep for different amounts of time. I'm going to make a note of our time here so that we can get an idea of what really happens and what you really need to do if you want to look at steeping with a steeping cup or infusion cup like this. What you're going to notice, I'm going to keep an eye on my time here, is that these cups have a strainer in them, similar to this, that have holes in them. I would like to point out, when you choose a cup like this, make sure that your holes are large enough that that water and tea can actually flow through them quite easily. This one, for example, is rather small because I have a spindly little toothpick, and it will not actually fit through most of these holes. This would be too small. It would take too long. Even for when you're pouring in water, you're likely to have your water overflow. Now I'm going to take one of these out. This actual size is quite nice for your holes. These are larger holes. Okay, we're going to let this one steep for a little bit longer. This one has been steeping now for 30 seconds, and we took it out. While we're waiting for this other one to steep a little bit longer, some other things that you want to note about if you're preparing tea at work. Okay, one is you could use a small clay pot like this. Good for one serving. I like one serving size because it allows you to heat up, allows you to make a serving, and keeping in mind with good teas, you're often going to want to use the same tea more than once. The first steep is often not the best. So you want something that will allow you to prepare your cup, serve it, still have those leaves so that they're not steeping too much and releasing too much, and you can reuse them. Also, it's easier to do if you're on the go. Pour a cup, set it down, drink it when you get another chance, get up. You know, you need to move around every hour or so. It's a good time to get up and move around a little bit, walk around if you can. Okay, we've had well over 1 minute now on this one. Okay, that's one choice. The disadvantage of a clay pot is clay like this is very porous. That means if you're using different kinds of teas, you probably want some variety. If you want different kinds of teas, you are not advised to use a clay pot because it does absorb flavors, and over a longer period, extended period of time, you're mixing those flavors, and it's going to affect your cup that you're preparing. So avoid clay porous pots like this unless you are going to stick with one tea, in which case I would advise a pot like that. The other choice, I'm taking this one out after about 2.5 minutes. We're going to look at those in just a minute. The other choice that you have would be a Tetsubin, an iron pot, or those clay, or I'm sorry, rather porcelain pots that have a metal or wire strainer. The disadvantage to this is As you can see, this strainer has been used for quite some time. It has actually become browned, stained, and there is always the concern, does this affect the flavor of your teas? The other thing that you want to consider is cleanup. Be careful, you've got this metal rim here. You've got the wire attached to the rim, and you can get bits of leaves that get stuck or wedged, and it can be quite difficult to clean. So you want to be aware of that if you consider a metal teapot, I should say an iron teapot, or a porcelain that has a steeper like this. The other option, plastics. Do you want to use a plastic? I prefer not to use any kind of plastic steeping tools. One, you find out new things about plastics all the time. You never really know if, when you've got hot water and plastics together, what's actually getting into your cup. Two, plastics tend to stain, and that also residue actually can remain on the sides of your plastics. That can be difficult to clean and irritation. Something that you may not want to do at the office is have to scrub out something plastic. Two, again, you're wondering if that residue is going to affect your next cup as far as flavor. So another choice is the gaiwan, which I can show you basically what a gaiwan is. A gaiwan is a Chinese style cup about this size. It comes with a lid like this, like so that you are pouring you're putting your leaves in here. You are very quickly making an opening and pouring out your teas through this little fissure that you've made. Easy to clean. You're not getting a large cup of tea if you use a gaiwan like this. Let's see. The advantage is, I want to go back to our steeping cups like this. Easy to clean. You have your straining area like this. You just wipe it out with your fingers, rinse it under the sink, and you're usually ready to go. You may have a little bit of stain on the inside of your cup. Porcelain like this, it is easier to clean out. That's why I prefer something with porcelain, something that has, you won't be able to see it in here, but you want to look on the inside of the spout that there are holes there, a mesh or grid system that will catch the tea from coming out. The disadvantage of a pot like this or a larger porcelain, also cleanup is not quite as convenient as, say, your steeping cup like this. Now, having said all that, we've had tea, same amount, steeped for 30 minutes, 30 seconds, 2 to 2.5 minutes. We had the same tea. We had water that was near boiling. Let's look at our result. Are they different? And if they are, how different? Because that can be a consideration when you are preparing tea at school or work. Okay. As you see, we have colors that are very similar. 30 seconds, 2.5 minutes. Your quality of your tea can be a factor in this, but I'm encouraging you to experiment. You can have a quick, simple cup of tea at work if you have access to hot water and a spoon and a steeping cup. And the taste, we'll give these a taste. Remember, this is my 30-second. This one's stronger. They both have, this one's, I should say, slightly stronger. They both have full taste. With a faster steeping, you are not getting as much caffeine in this cup, so you're stretching out your caffeine kick over a longer period. You can then put this back in and re-steep. The other advantage that you may, or the other consideration to make, you're at your desk, you may not want to have leaves sitting on a lid like that. That's easy to tip over. Consider getting a second cup and just rest it in there. Third, whenever possible, It's always nice to have a cup that says it is lead-free, so that you've got there's no lead or contaminants in the painting or the decoration that's used. In fact, this cup was from Dragon Pearl Teas. They have a selection of cups that they clearly mark as tested lead-free. But these are my ideas. I want to hear what you have to say. Tell us by email, by giving us a comment at walkerteareview.com. How do you prepare your tea? What is the low mess, no mess, quick and easy way for you? I'm Jason Walker. This is Walker Tea Review.